Hello everybody, Andy here, and today I'm looking at Underworlds. Now you might be thinking, Andy, Underworlds isn't Kill Team, what are you doing? And then you might be a long time viewer and thinking, Andy, why do you not ever play Underworlds, yet you talk about it like once a year, randomly? Yeah, good question. It's because I'd love to love it. There's so many things about Underworlds that really intrigue me and interest me, but for whatever reason I've always bounced off of it, and so now when it's new and it has potential, I'm excited about talking about it. Now, a few weeks ago we heard that we're getting a new Warhammer Underworlds edition. This is the biggest change Underworlds has ever had. So they've cancelled everything from the last 6 years. It feels longer than that, but let's say 6 years, why not, is gone. And now they're telling us how gone it is. Let's have a look. They've done un l'article. Here we go. So just to very quickly bring you up to speed, if you are not an Underworlds player, no change. By this edition, don't think about the last editions. Nobody's ever going to play that again. You're good. If you're an existing Underworlds player, in this article, you know more than me. I don't know anything about the game. If you are Underworlds curious, this is, and this is me, I'm Underworlds curious. This is a chance to get into the game fresh. I love new editions because you can get into something fresh. You can get into things with as much knowledge as most other people. Yes, there will still be people better than you, of course. There will be people that have played for the last 6 years solid. It's their main game. Yes, they are going to be and just have more innate knowledge than you, obviously. However, new eyes on a new edition is good. I'm hyped. However, again, another however, great. Because they're updating all the stats, all the cards, completely revamping the game essentially, there is the question of what are they doing with all the old warbands? Are they still usable? Are they not? And there's new information here. So first things first, yes, everything is usable. Addendum, not really. So there's going to be 16 teams that are like tournament legal, match play legal, I think is the term. All the other warbands are going to get rules and you're allowed to play them, just not in a tournament. There you go. This is done purely to save face, I guess. I don't know. I was going to say I don't know why GW does it. They do it because fans get really, really pissy when you take away rules from their models. Okay? Now GW can say, hey, everybody gets rules. Everyone has rules. We're not going to let you play with those in our tournaments, but you have rules, which is fine because perhaps now they're embracing that this isn't their competitive game. This is their throw down a board, play a quickie, do something else, right? You can play this, then go play Cards Against Humanity, right? Like, they're almost changing the pitch of the game. They're saying that's how you play this game now. This should be a half-hour game, not a 2-hour game. Okay? Cool. Let's dive in. So they're telling us how we buy stuff, which is good, I guess. You see these here? These 4 boxes. So obviously Age of Sigmar, they always push this, the 4 grand alliances. So it's order, death, destruction. Oh no. Chaos, right? The other big thing. And we can buy one of these boxes. Now these boxes here are going to have 4 warbands and all of the cards that you need for that. To clarify, the cards that you need are War Scroll cards and fighter cards. Fighter cards obviously have the stats for your fighters. One side is normal, the other side is inspired. It's a thing, don't worry about it. And then the War Scroll card is going to have, I think they all have 3, but maybe some are 2, some are 4, I don't know. Which seem to all be one-off abilities that you can use throughout the game that only your faction can do. And then it also has some other things, like your passive, yeah, cool. And so these boxes are going to come with that. Now, the question here is how much are those going to cost, right? However, these are also going to be permanent boxes that you can always buy, which is good to know. So if you're thinking, I want to get into Underworlds, what do you buy? Well, you have to buy Embergard, because that has all your tokens, your board, etc. Literally, everybody that wants to play the game has to buy Embergard, because only that board works. Okay, so everybody's buying that. That gives you 2 warbands, 4 rivals decks. Decks, you just pick a warband, pick a deck, done. Okay, that's how that works. So you can play, you can like a deck and pick a warband to go with it, or you can like a warband and pick a deck to go with it. Okay, then that can be you done. You can just buy Embergard and say, hey, this is a cool one purchase game, $67.50, because that's how GW prices all of their stuff. Which if you then buy it, 20% off, it's what, 55 quid, something like that. And then that's you done. Or you can say, this is really fun, I want to buy more. And you can then pick up one of these boxes, and that will give you 4 more warbands, which is a heck of a lot of stuff. They've also given us a roadmap, just to quickly chime in. A few weeks after Embergard, we will immediately get 2 additional warbands with 2 additional decks. Now, I'm assuming that the warbands will come with one of these decks, so this will actually be 2 purchases, but I don't know that. It's possible they will release 4 products, 2 warbands, 2 decks. That would be weird. They shouldn't do that. They should package every warband with a deck, because otherwise it's not a legal warband. That'd be insane. Cool. And then that's there. Every quarter we will get, again, 1 warband, 1 deck. Cool. Right, we can then go through and pick up, this is our order. We get Hexbane's Hunters. Ooh, how do I change? Maiari's Purifiers, Thundrix Profiteers, Yilthari's Guardians. Cool, I like elves. I'm surprised that they didn't bring back the Ideneth Deepkin for the crab. The crab memes would have made sense, but that would have been too many elves, so understandable. We then get Kagara's Ravagers. Brilliant team, love it. I already have it, love it. In fact, I have all of these. I don't know why, I just do. I might have an addiction. This is one I don't have. I used to, but I use it for conversions, so then I think I threw the rest away. So I might get this. Dread Pageant, Slanesh, and then Gore Chosen of Drum. I have these guys too. Khorne. So obviously the chaos is Khorne, Slanesh, Tzeentch, unaligned. But nobody likes Nurgle, so that's fine. Cool. We then get the Death faction, which is the Headman's Curse, the Crimson Court, some of the best models out there, obviously. Of course they had to stay in. Canaan's Reapers, the Grimwatch. I'm just going to throw it out there. Legitimate insanity that they did not bring back Velmorn's, I can't remember the name, the actually good skeletons. They were some of the best skeletons around. The Velmorns were awesome. I can't remember their name. The Velmorn Watch. I don't know. To not bring them back is actually mad. Genuinely the biggest L I've ever seen. Also, of note, for those interested in such things, if we look at the corner here, let me show it to you. Here you go. This hammer and sword. This thingy, I know that's flex, I think. That is mastery. And that is, I don't know. But basically, this is telling you how this team, how this faction plays. And so you can pick a faction that plays in a certain way, and then a deck that plays in the same way or another way. So I believe that's what it means. Again, not the most knowledgeable about Underworlds, and especially a new system, which I haven't paid full attention to. Finally, for destruction, we get Grimcrack's Loon Court. Yeah, I think we figured that was staying. We get Black Powder's Buccaneers. We get the Cunning Crew. We get Morgoth's Crushers. A bit of a shame that we don't get to see Mollog back. Of course, he was very cool. Then we get an additional thing, which is whatever the heck this is, right? Warbands of Embergard. This is for the people out there that already have all of those warbands, don't want to buy the models again. You can buy this. This is just the cards for all of those. So if you have the last 16 warbands that they've released, you buy this. You don't have to rebuy the models. You're done. Now, price. That's what's going to define whether or not this launch is good or not. Again, The core set's the core set. You have to buy it. The price is irrelevant. If you want to play Underworlds, you have to buy it. Cool, fine. But then, how much does this cost? How much are they going to milk out of their existing fan base, of which I believe there's about 4 people? And like, are they going to go for dirt cheap, or are they going to try and, you know, screw people, basically, by saying, hey, you have to buy this? We will see. I would imagine that Warbands of Embergard, the car box, is actually going to be relatively cheap for GW. Like 20 quid sort of thing, not that big of a deal. But then we get to these. How much are they going to cost now? Very roughly, I believe that Warbands used to cost 20, were they 20 quid? They were more than that. I'm going to say 25. So a box of these would cost you £100, right? For just 4 teams. You're getting way less cards now. So how much are they going to charge for cards? Here's my fear. Each of these boxes are going to be the same price as the core box, £67.50. Now, while I think £67.50 is totally fine for the Embergard core box, because it is everything you need to play, it's a whole game in itself, I don't feel £67.50 is worth it for these. Honestly, I don't think they'll go this low. I would say 40. If it's 50, I'll be okay with it. It should be 40, but they won't do 40. That's insane, because that would be £10. They don't go that low. This should be 50. This should be cheaper. There is so much less in these boxes than there is in the core box. There you go. These are my thoughts. Thank you for being with me with them. That's very generous of you. Cool. Anyway, I guess final thing. Are you interested in Underworlds? You've made it to the end of this video, so you have to be to some degree, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited about Underworlds. It's a new edition. I've always wanted the game to have more traction than it ever seems to have gotten, which is obviously a shame, because hey, the more the better, right? We don't all have to play in the 40k universe. We can play in the Sigmar universe, we can play in other universes, right? And I think a new edition is a great time to get new eyes on your best game. So fingers crossed that people are now seeing this. They're coming in from wherever they're coming in, you know, Space Marine 2, and they're looking at things and saying, oh wow, Games Workshop has all of these different things. And actually, you know what? I'm actually a fantasy guy more than I'm a sci-fi guy. And look, they've got a fantasy thing. But you know what? That's really expensive. I don't want to play Age of Sigmar. Oh look, a board game? Well, I'm a nerd, so I already have board game friends. This is cool. I want the Games Workshop board game, not the Games Workshop war games. That's too much for me. I don't care if it's skirmish. I want the board game. It's a new edition. It's a one box. It's £67.50. I'm in. There you go. Fingers crossed. That's the way people manage to view it. And then if they get into it, they buy more, obviously. Who knows? That's, you know, that's the beauty of the new edition. A new edition is always filled with potential, and I love to see potential, because at this point in time, Underworlds could be anything. Underworlds could be the next big game. It won't be, but it could be, and that's really exciting. That's why I always get excited about new editions of games, because the potential is there.